It's time for another Flying Sparks Garage episode, and we are back on the 57 Chevy.
Back under the 57 Chevy.
True. Why don't you tell them what you did yesterday?
So yesterday I worked on getting the goop off, which is the undercoating. It was really hard, so I used a torch, scraped a bunch of it off, and then tested out different abrasive bits to see what we were actually going to need to get the... I hesitate to say rust because there's not really rust under it, because as soon as you knock the surface off, it's primer. So we got to get all that stuff off, get it ready for prime, and see if we have any more rust holes in the bottom, which I hope we don't. We're also going to pull the fuel tank out, we're going to take the shocks off, the emergency brake, and just get the whole bottom of it ready to go.
It's going to be a good day. If you're new here, this is our niece. Her name is Aliyah, but we call her the kid, and she's a hard worker. So we're about to get going on the undercarriage of this car. Get it all spiffied up. Let's go. We were all supposed to walk this way.
Yeah, but I walked this way.
I know. You rebel. I was gonna cut to us walking into frame, getting ready to go to work. All right, the kid tossed some gloves on so she could spray some knocker loose on these rusty bolts.
Ooh.
And
Rust colored my ear.
I don't doubt it. Spray these guys too.
Oh, I fully missed. Don't think that's helping any.
I think the bigger impact would just like you rips it out of your hand. It's off. It's on the ground. It is no more.
Poo.
You poo. You can film me do the other side.
Yay!
These have been marinating a long time. They're just gonna come right off from me.
You should have done the first side.
Yeah, I should have.
Here's your wrench. Okay. Here's your impact.
Okay.
Are you kidding me? That's not nice.
I'm sorry, kid. You know, some people might say it's good for you, you know, as a kid to have to work for it. It is time to drop the tank down. We put knocker loose on these bolts before we took the e-brake off, so hopefully they come out easily.
Yeah.
The kid wants some bolt redemption here.
Yeah.
Some rusty bolt redemption.
Yeah.
And so she's got her finger on the throttle and she's ready to rock. It's raining rust.
That's bending.
It's twisting the strap.
Like seriously twisting.
I don't know, I guess just send it.
Oh, okay.
Throttle out.
It's just gonna spin.
Let's see, it may break loose at some point.
Just continuing to spin.
That is weird.
Yeah.
Get some vice grips.
Do we need to hold it at the top? Okay, Erin has a vice grip on the stud that goes up. So we're gonna hope that it's not going to rotate on us this time.
Okay.
Still spinning.
Still spinning.
Time for a death wheel.
Okay.
All right.
You're not gonna get rusty bolt redemption on this. Death wheel on the fuel tank sounds really exciting. All right.
It's down.
I feel like Aaron got some kind of redemption with that.
Yeah.
I don't know what he was getting redemption for, but he really did it. This is a rust hole that exists in this car that is pretty wild.
No, I think it's solid.
I love the blue under here.
I've never seen this before.
It's pretty great, right?
Mm-hmm.
You ready for the whole car to be factory blue again?
Yes.
Me too. We are going back with the original color on this car, which is Larkspur Blue. This car is a 210 post car, so it's not a Bel Air, so it's not going to have all of the fancy trim, but we like it like that. We are excited to take it back to its original form and its original color, and it's going to be so rad. Fuel tank straps?
Down.
Goners.
Downers.
Just a quick reminder that our merch, this first drop that we did with the .Zen shirt, the Roxy shirt, and the Garfield shirt that Erin is wearing, which was a favorite, all of these shirts are going to be sold out soon. So if you would like to grab one, we would really appreciate it. We have a order in for a whole new order, and we are really excited to show you guys what we're doing this time. So please use this QR code. Open your camera, hold your phone up to the QR code, and it should pop up with a little yellow button that is a link to our merch. We would really appreciate the support, and we are so excited to be ordering fresh new merch for y'all.
That's right. Less words, more work. Let's get back to the 57.
Nice.
Fuel neck mostly out. Bracket's still there, but we'll work on that later. I think that one was done. All right, Erin's in the car on the bolt for the shock. You might have to hold it a little bit higher, kid, but we'll see. She's ready.
All yours.
Yay. Ready.
I feel like there's a hole in the
Shakes
floor.
my whole body.
Well, we have put some work in, busting some rust, and we had a discovery.
We took that gas tank down, and when we did, we realized that floor pan is way worse than we thought it was. And also, the passenger side rear floor pan is so bad that it can be patched, but there's a mounting point where the seat goes, and that's rusted out. So I'm going to order a floor pan for the trunk and a floor pan for the passenger side rear, and that's about all we can do on this for now. So I think we are going to get into another adventure.
The next time y'all see us, we will have parts and be ready to replace some metal. Y'all know we've become familiar with doing that on this car, so we're excited to do more. Maybe we'll get this kid behind the welding helmet.
Yeah.
We'll see y'all soon. We are back with parts. We got a floor pan for the passenger side and also an entire trunk pan. We aren't totally sure that we want to cut the whole trunk out, but the more we look at it, we feel like that would probably be smart.
Yeah, on the floor pan, we're definitely just going to patch it. They've already patched the front up here, so there's no need in taking that out. And I'm reluctant to remove any factory metal that I don't have to. So we'll cut this rear floor pan on the passenger side out, replace that. We're going to do that today. And then on the trunk, because we're doing inner fenders and we're widening it, we're kind of thinking we might as well put the whole pan in. It's not terrible, but around some of the structure, you do have some rot there at the back by the trunk. So we got the whole thing. We're going to attempt to put the whole thing in, but we don't know what we're doing. Never replaced a whole pan like that. Only done patches. So I say we get into it. I've got the floor pan marked where I want Emily to cut. We're going to cut from the bottom because there's braces in here. And I don't want her cutting from the top because she might cut those braces. So we got it marked. We're going to fire up the plasma cutter, get that cut out, and then we'll start figuring out what size our patch needs to be.
Well, let's go for it. Rolling the beautiful equipment in. This thing is so dreamy. We're so thankful to work with Lincoln. This is like dream come true kind of stuff.
Yeah, one thing I love about this plasma is it's got a built-in compressor. If you've done much plasma, you know that dirty air is a big problem for these machines. So it's very nice that it's got a built-in compressor. I don't have to worry about that. It keeps it nice and dry. And Emily likes to fire it up and use it.
Oh my gosh, it's so fun. When you said I was doing it, I was like, yes. Got my shades on. We were kind of Googling around as far as like what is proper PPE when you're doing the plasma cutter, because it's really bright when you're looking right at it. When you're focusing on your cut, it feels like you should be wearing some kind of eye protection, but a welding helmet just feels weird because it would have to, especially like ours, it would have to stay dimmed the whole time. I don't know, it just doesn't seem to fit with the job. So tell us down in the comment section what you do when you use a plasma cutter, what kind of protection, eye protection you use. Man, I've got to get good at this. I think I need to brace my hand somewhere. Need to FaceTime Ray Ripple and ask her, hey, how do you do this pretty?
You might turn your heat down a little bit. That may help.
Yeah, it is really, well, it goes really fast. I think I'm just like need to be aware. Also, the metal is probably really thin, so you think I should turn it down just a skosh?
Yeah.
So if I go like away from my cut, then I think I'll be able to see it better.
Okay.
Let me try that. Boy, it is actually quite challenging to do a straight line, at least for me starting. It's like finding that balance of looking at my straight line and trying to get my cutter at that exact point, and then, yeah, trying to move along the line. It is pretty dang hard, but that's what practice is for, and it's super freaking fun. Yay! They are not pretty cuts. Well, I did get pretty good up in this corner. I got better, but it's out. Like this. Awesome. I know, they're pretty ugly cuts, huh, buddy? What can I say? I have fun.
We got the panel cut out. I laid it in here. I marked it with my fancy little paint pen because
Roxy GTO touch-up pen.
we have to make a decision now. This cut here, that's going to be on a brace, so we're going to have to drill out these spot welds. But we're like, the front two floor pans were done before we got it, and they just overlaid them, welded them in, so you've got like a little extra metal on the bottom. We're like, do we just make this job easy and do it that way, or do we cut this out and try to butt weld it and make it perfect? And I have it marked right now to butt weld it. So I may just cut this back, cut on this side of the red line. So I got a little extra metal so we can hammer and dolly and fill gaps, and maybe the gaps won't be too big. So I think we'll just trim this up, just get it a little bit closer, set the floor pan back in and see if it's ready to weld. At some point, somehow, today, there's gonna be a floor pan in this car. I think I got her trimmed up. I cut it to fit the panel that's going in here, and then on this side, I ripped it, and then I used my spot weld driller to drill all these. That looks like this right here. It drills out spot welds so you don't put a hole all the way through your brace. So I'll drill those out and use my hammer and chisel, chiseled that little strip off. I guess I'm ready to test fit the panel back in here, but I think first we should clean it up because it's got sharp edges on it. A little bit of welding and then some hammer and dolling it. It'll be pretty good.
Some of our favorite drill bits.
Yep.
just did a special for breast cancer, and $10 of every drill bit set that's sold goes to the Susan G. Komen Breast Cancer Research Foundation. So I will put this in the description, and they do such a fantastic job. They are a Made in America company and great family-owned folks. And if you'd like to support and get some insanely great drill bits.
That's right. These are the best I've ever used. These guys don't pay us. We just really like them that much. So get some bits and save the boobies.
Well, Aaron has just been welding his little heart out. In fact, he went through all the wire. So we've been through our first roll of wire on this new machine. So that's awesome. And it's about 5 o'clock. So we're going to call it a night and get some more wire tomorrow and be back to finish this.
Right. We ran out of wire yesterday. We were using 30 thousandths wire. And I looked in our welding cabinet here, and all we had was 0.25 thousandths. So I said, well, let's just quit for the evening. We'll go to the store, get some 30 thousandths, because that's what I'm used to using. And they were all out. We live in a small town. They were all out of wire. So we came back, put the 25 in it. And as I was thinking last night when I was relaxing, I was like, you know, that 25 thousandths wire might actually be better, because we keep blowing holes, and we're having to do real quick little spot welds to keep it from blowing through some of the thinner, like rusty metal. So I've set the machine up. It's got like a brain in it, so you put it on whatever gauge your metal is and what gauge wire you're using, and it does all the math for you. I did find out yesterday I had to run the speed up a little bit more on my wire to help it build up, but we're going to try the out-of-the-box settings with this and see how she does. Hopefully it's better today with this smaller wire. You see right here we've got some pretty thin metal, and I didn't want to cut way up in here. I wanted to just use this piece because I like the shape of it. It's factory. Now with 25 thousandths, let's see if we can build that up and not burn a bunch more holes in it. Told Emily I'm not going to work really hard on the top, trying to make it pretty, because there's carpet going down. I can see from here, like under the car with the light shining on the top, it's easier to see any pinholes. So we've got a few sections on it that we'll clean up. But overall, it's pretty darn good. Just discussing how much do we grind and then re-weld and grind to make this look perfect as if it was on the outside of the body. And my opinion is I welded it from the inside, raised the car up, and the lights I could see any pinholes. So I fixed all that, cleaned up some of the welds where it seemed like they were weak. So the floor pan's in and it's in really good, but I don't know, how much effort do we go to make it look pretty when it's underneath the car? I don't know.
I was just telling Aaron, I feel like it's a little silly to get the metal underneath the car as smooth as we would the exterior, especially because I feel like it's a really good idea to spray some kind of sound deadener stuff. Our friend Dr. Dan on his 68 Camaro that he's obsessed with, that I am also obsessed with, he used lizard skin on his car. And when we were at his house, he had to put it in the air for us to show us how nice it is. And that stuck with me because I'm like, man, that would be so nice to have like some kind of like uniform texture underneath, and then any kind of imperfections, like any where we sanded, surface rust off, it would just look better. And Aaron was saying that he liked that.
Yeah, I agree. The challenge with this back here is if I sand this and get it perfect, weld, sand, or grind, you're left with a really thin weld, and I like the way it is now. It's built up, it's good. So I think that texture would be really great, and we're also going to replace the trunk pan. So any seams there or anything like that, it's just going to tie it all in and make it look a lot better. And definitely the sound deadening and the insulation will be nice. You get it underneath the car, and then we'll also do it inside the car. Because if you own any old cars, you know that they kind of tin can. Like you shut the door and it rings all inside of it. And so I think Emily's right. This might be a good place to use that stuff. And it takes off some of the work of trying to make this like perfectly beautiful, shiny.
Because it wouldn't be necessary.
It's never going to happen. I do want it to match the paint of the car, the color. But yeah, I think we'll start researching some product like that, and that'll save us a little bit of time down here.
Yeah. So what remains for this job is we want to get off all the excess like rust. It's like, junk buildup that we haven't yet ground off. So we want to get that done, and then we're going to wrap this episode after that, because then it'll be time to move to the rear trunk pan. But we have some nerves about that. Like, we do have a full rear trunk pan, but there's lots of spot welds and like structure back there, and we're replacing the inner fenders. So it's going to be like taking the whole rear metal of the car out if we do it all.
Yep.
And we would actually like y'all's opinion on that. If you have experience with this, we would love to hear down in the comment section what you guys would do.
Absolutely. We have 1/3 of the trunk that has rust holes in it. And it's in an area over close to the inner fender that we're going to be replacing with the wider one. So we can just cut that patch out, weld it in, or we can replace the entire trunk pan, which would be kind of nice because the one we bought does not have the provision for the spare tire. And we would like to get a long-range fuel tank in this. So we'd be smoothing that anyways. It's a lot. I mean, you're removing a lot of the structure of the back of the car, so we're going to have to be careful about bracing it and stuff like that so we don't mess up our quarter panels that we already fixed. So let us know. What would you do? Would you just patch it, or would you just replace that entire trunk pan? Be curious to know.
Yeah. We always appreciate you guys leaving us comments and ideas and thoughts, and even constructive criticism. We read most of the comments, so we appreciate y'all. Do you think we should get to busting some of this rust, sir?
I suppose.
Bang it out a little bit, play a nice song for you guys, and y'all can watch us kick up some dust.
Yep.
Let's do it.
Working on this patch, I've got it cut out, cleaned it up the best I could. I got a little more sanding to do there and there, but it's pretty well ready. So I'm over there cutting out a patch. I found a part on the panel that has this natural indentation because I don't want to try to reshape that. So I got my patch laid over top of that. We've got the whole, I guess it's the right side of the floorboard for this car. So the reason I bought that instead of just a patch is because I wanted lots of extra metal. So I'm going to go cut it out of that, see if I can get it fit in there somehow, and get it tacked back in. And then I'll get back to the dirty work of just busting rust and dirt off this thing.
success.
Yeah, I think it's done for now. We didn't get this part back here because we got to start drilling spot welds out and stuff like that and get all this brought down. So I didn't see any reason to put paint on here. That part of it, that looks good. That's a rust encapsulator. I don't even know who it's made by.
Rust-Oleum.
That's just basically to prevent it from rusting and to kill whatever rust is there. But I think it's at a really good stage now. We could go on with whatever undercoating you guys tell us what we need to.
Yeah.
You go, glue
Words.
Yeah.
Your brain a little mush from the paint.
Maybe too much paint. Yeah, that was fun. We got the patch on the side over here. We got the floor fixed. Busted all the rust out of here.
Super solid.
Yeah, it's in good shape now. But we're going to take a break on the 57. This is the last you're going to see it for probably a month because it is fall weather outside. It's actually supposed to be down in the 40s tonight. So it's getting nice outside. We may or may not have gotten an old tractor that's been sitting for years that we want to get running. And then the boat. We've been telling you guys we're waiting on the fiberglass because it's so hot outside. It's just nasty and we're sweaty and it's a bad job. Well, the weather's right, so we're going to bring the boat over here and start working on that fiberglass. Get those stringers replaced, get the back glassed in. Then it's time to set an engine in. We're actually going to pick up an engine on Saturday that's fully assembled, ready to drop in. So
really nice Duramax.
that's super exciting. But for now, that's a wrap. And I really honestly don't want to see the bottom of this car for a little while.
A break will be appreciated.
Yeah.
And we cannot wait to see you guys on future episodes. It's going to be some fun stuff. We're stoked. See y'all soon.
See ya.